Welcome to you and the viewers of your show to historic 1,000-year-old Westminster Hall here for what could be a historic night in politics, and certainly one to remember for Rishi Sunak and his government. Now tonight around 7 amendments might be debated and voted on to this Rwanda bill, and if we are waiting to see how those amendments end up. The three you need to think about are Amendment number 11, that talks about disapplying elements of the Human Rights Act, which when the migrants are being sent across to Rwanda. That's the first thing. The second one is one about Rule 39, so-called pyjama orders. So we'll wait and see what happens there. And then a Labour one, a new clause 13. That will be very interesting too. I'm just checking on my phone. Nothing's happened on my phone, but I'll carry on. And then, of course, MPs right now are meeting in a committee room near here to work out what to do next. And one of the MPs who was in that meeting was Robin Miller MP, and he joins me now for GB News. Robin, how was that meeting? Last night, 60 MPs voted against the Rwanda plan. You were one of them. Was it one of anger, fury, resigned acceptance of a policy that won't work?
I think you could characterise it as being serious, thoughtful, and actually passionate. The people in that group, and I'm one of them, we're really concerned about this. We think this is an important matter for the nation, but we also think it's important because our residents are telling us. When we listen to what our constituents tell us, that's when we understand this matters to residents. We've all seen the polling, which says right across the country, the majority of people saying enough, we need to stop this. So our interest is simply in coming up with a bill that works, that will close those loopholes, and will make sure that people who shouldn't be here and are coming illegally can be returned quickly.
Well, we can reveal now on GB News that Jacob Rees-Mogg, one of your colleagues, a former cabinet minister, of course, was in that meeting. He's walked out. He is voting for the Rwanda bill. Is that a blow?
No, and you make it sound that he's walked out of the tantrum. I know Jacob, I know his position on this and his views, and I think it's for each individual member to work out their own mind. There's a variety of views, for sure. I don't think it's a blow, because what this process is about, this committee stage, and we're still in it, we haven't voted on it yet, we're expecting the bell to ring at any moment, but what this stage is about testing these ideas and persuading colleagues, look, we think this is an extra loophole that is open, we think this is a measure that needs to be tightened further, this is what the debate, this is democracy in the raw, this is where it really matters.
And we're here with GB News covering it with you. Do you think that Amendment 23 should be accepted by the government? That's the amendment to write in law that the officials have to follow, and ministers must ignore Rule 39 orders from the European Court.
Yeah, so for the benefit of the viewers, it's taken me some effort to get my head around it too, but essentially it's shifting the presumption from one of we accept a Clause 39 judgment by Strasbourg, which means we keep the flight on the ground. So last June, June 22, the flight that didn't take off was stopped by a judgment from Strasbourg, a Clause 39 judgment. So what we've tried to do with our Amendment 23 is shift the presumption from accepting that to one of refusing it, and then giving the minister the exceptional powers if the minister thought it was necessary to take that Clause 39 and stop the flight. But the presumption would be that the flight would leave. That's why it matters so much.
Have you heard that might be accepted by the government?
Well, it's down to the vote. The government hasn't indicated one way or another on that. Again, this is democracy in the raw. These are votes that have been cast. I'm glad that you're here to cover it, because this is what it's all about.
Well, Robin, if the bill is unamended, it goes to third reading after an hour-long debate. The third reading vote, the big one, could be around 9 p.m. tonight. How will you vote in that?
I really don't know. Amendment 23, you've put your finger on the money. This is a really important amendment for me. I've listened to colleagues debating it. I mean, the points they've made, for example, about the ECHR, which issues these judgments, this was something that in 2005, a body that chose to extend its own powers, and as a result, you wonder about the validity of some of those judgments it reaches. So listening very carefully, and these votes will be decisive and really informative of what we then decide to do.
It looks bad, though, the Tory party fighting. I mean, 60 MPs thinking this Rwanda plan won't work. That's obviously now a top message on one of the Labour Party election leaflets later this year. Are you not helping Rishi Sunak, are you?
I couldn't disagree more. Conservatism is alive and well, and within the Conservative Party. I know some of your viewers may not think so, but I promise you it is. And this battle of ideas is so important, and I actually welcome the fact that people can see it. And with great respect to the press and the media, I know you love a fight, and if there isn't one, you try and create one. But in this case, I can assure you there is unanimity in the Conservative Party here in Parliament to fix this problem. This is a question about how do we do it. The gap between us, I heard somebody say earlier today, is inches. Compare that to the chasm that's between us and the Labour Party, who voted over 80 times to prevent any toughening of immigration measures in the chamber.
Do you worry that the bill unamended won't actually work, which is what Suella Braverman, Robert Jenrick and other colleagues of yours have been saying to us?
I would possibly add two words to that, and that is well enough. So the concern is that it needs to work better. There's no doubt that the bill as presented moves things further forward. Let's not forget that we have cut immigration, illegal immigration. Quarter 4 23 was 64% down on quarter 4 22 in 2022. So there are significant gains being made. I'm of the view it's not enough, and the question is, will this bill do it? I think it will help, but I'm concerned and want to make it work even better.
Well, you heard it there, Michelle. Robin Miller there, one of the Tory MPs who's in this key meeting. He won't say what the meeting's decided. The meeting is still ongoing. He's very kindly joined us on GB News tonight. But it's quite a big night here for the Tory party. If they can get this bill right, of course, the Labour Party said it would actually withdraw the bill if it wins power. It will axe the bill, even if it's working. That becomes a very contentious political issue if we have a Labour government next